Hello, my name is Michael Fasolino, and today I'm going to be reading my speech about the New York Knicks, which is titled Good, but Not Good Enough. Being a Knicks fan is one of the hardest things to do in sports. The Knicks have been around for the past 75 years. Within those 75 years, we have constantly been let down and terrorized because of Michael Jordan and the fact that we couldn't finish when it counted most. Some can say that we've had the talent to do so, but we can unfortunately never get over the hump. According to Basketball Reference, the Knicks have won the NBA Finals twice, once coming in the 1969-1970 season, and once again 3 years later in 1972-1973. Even with two finals wins, we still have six finals losses in our 8 appearances. Not too good historically for the Knicks per usual. Since I've been alive, the Knicks made the playoffs 5 times, each time getting bounced out in the first round, except for the 2013 season where they made it all the way to the second round, but ultimately lost either way. The Knicks' golden age of basketball was in the 70s and in the 90s. Hall of Fame players like Patrick Ewing, Willis Reed, and Walt Clyde Frazier are the reason the Knicks were able to be competitive and found success. Overall, the New York Knicks have been a very competitive team, but historically could never pull it together when it counted most. The Knicks were introduced to the NBA in 1946. For the first 10 years of existence, the Knicks made the playoffs each year, making it to the finals 3 times in a row from 1951 to 1953. Led by head coach Joe Lapchick, the team was competitive and hardworking. Despite losing all 3 finals appearances in a row, Knicks fans were very happy and had a lot to look forward to as the years were going on. Or so we thought. Unfortunately, the next 10 years for the Knicks weren't very well. We made the playoffs once and had to change our head coach on 4 separate occasions. The Knicks were looking like they were in shambles, and we were scared that we weren't going to be able to figure it out again. Thank God that all changed in the 1967 season. That's the year we drafted all-time great point guard and Knicks legend Walt Clyde Frazier. Alongside his Hall of Fame teammate Willis Reed and Hall of Fame coach Red Holzman, the Knicks were once again among the top teams in basketball. Frazier made an immediate impact for the Knicks in his first year as a rookie. With Reed already being on the team, the Knicks were right back into playoff contention. Within the first 2 years of playing together, the new and improved Knicks made and won their first NBA Finals appearance in the 1969-1970 season. Red and Frazier led the way, averaging 20 points a game, while also being the number 1 team in the East, which was sparked by a 20-game win streak in the regular season. According to the New York Post, when asked what made the Knicks a championship team that year, Willis Reed responded by saying, "I think it was the quality of the men. We didn't have any quitters. They had a team everyone trusted in. Everyone fought for each other, which led to the team's success. In just 2 more years, the Knicks made it right back to the NBA Finals, unfortunately this time losing to the Lakers in 5 games. That loss in the Finals did not sit well with the Knicks. The very next year, they were back in the Finals for their 3rd time in the past 4 years and once again faced the Lakers. With the help of everybody on the team, the Knicks were able to beat the Lakers in 5 games, just like the Lakers beat them the year prior. Someone who deserves a lot of credit for the Knicks' success is head coach Red Holzman. According to the DailyKnicks.com, the most famous coach in New York Knicks history, Red Holzman, was a legend on the court, on the sideline, and in his community. Red became the head coach for the Knicks in 1967, which started Red's reign. Red preached a team-first mentality. With a young, promising Knicks core, Red knew the Knicks were ready to take the next step to becoming a great team. The fact that Red won the Knicks an NBA Finals, 2 to be in fact, and had the most wins in New York Knicks history made him a New York legend right then and there. According to DailyKnicks.com, Holzman ultimately got his number, 613, wins as the Knicks head coach, retired in Madison Square Garden, the second most wins in NBA history at the time. After 13 great years with the team, Red was inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame as a coach in 1986, followed by his player, Clyde Frazier, in 1987, and Willis Reed, who made it before them both in 1982. The 70s era of the Knicks was the best the team has seen in its existence. After the Knicks finals win in 73, the team had become terribly average. They had made the playoffs 6 out of the next 14 years, never really doing any damage within the process. The Knicks looked like they were taking the wrong steps after a great run in the 70s. That ended in 1985 when we drafted the best player in Knicks history, Patrick Ewing. The Knicks drafted Mr. Ewing with the first pick in the 1985 NBA draft. Coming out of Georgetown, Patrick was seen as the best player in college that year. Once Knicks fans heard his name called on draft night, we knew we had something special. Though the team in the 70s won 2 championships and had made the finals 3 times in 4 years, the Knicks teams in the 90s are thought of as the best and most competitive Knicks teams throughout their existence. Members on the team like Charles Oakley, John Starks, and Anthony Mason helped Patrick Ewing and the Knicks make the playoffs 14 times out of the next 16 years. They were a very, very physical and mentally tough team through those years. No matter how tough or physical we were, unfortunately, we were never able to get past Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. Jordan terrorized the Knicks every time we met them in the playoffs. When Chicago won their first three-peat, which was from 1991 to 1993, the Bulls beat the Knicks each year. The one year that Michael Jordan decided to leave the NBA and go play baseball, the Knicks finally made it to the NBA Finals. We thought we were finally going to be able to get over the hump. We finally beat the Bulls in the playoffs, obviously without Michael Jordan, led by Scottie Pippen. And ultimately, we were able to make it to the NBA Finals. Unfortunately, the Knicks lost to the Finals against the Houston Rockets in 7 games with great Hakeem Olajuwon at the helm for the Rockets. Jordan ultimately came back the next year after the Knicks had made the finals and ruined it for everybody else, as usual. Jordan went on to win 3 more championships in a row, ultimately taking the opportunity away from the Knicks. We never were able to get past Jordan. It was just always a very, very tough matchup because, some see Michael Jordan as the greatest player of all time, and being the greatest player of all time, he beat everybody in his path. It didn't really matter. Even after the Knicks finals loss in 1993-1994, they were still a force to be reckoned with. They would make the playoffs for the next 7 years, even making it back to the NBA Finals in 1999 as the last seeded team in the Eastern Conference. They were the 8th seed, 1 to 8 teams make it, meaning the Knicks were the last team to be able to make the playoffs for the Eastern Conference that year. Yet again, the Knicks lost in the finals after making it as the 8th seed to the San Antonio Spurs in 5 games with Tim Duncan and David Robinson at the helm. Once Patrick Ewing finished his Hall of Fame career in 2002, the Knicks were never really the same. From management to ownership issues to not being able to build a team around good players and also not drafting the players that we needed to help the team take the next step into being great once again. The Knicks became one of the bottom tier teams in the NBA. Yes, we will always have those championships in the 70s. Nobody can take that away from us. And we will always hold on to the amazing performances from the teams in the 90s. But that was 50 years ago. Overall, the Knicks have been seen as a team that will always be competitive and give it their all, but they will never seal the deal and come away with the ultimate goal, which is winning it all. Thank you very much for listening to the speech. I hope everybody enjoyed it.